Good morning, good morning. I meant to put lipstick on before I got on and I didn't. When you hop on, say hi. Welcome to Crafting and Cruising. Let me know where you're from, watching from. I think I got a little problem here. And if you watch the replay, please let me know where you're watching from. Today I'm going to attempt to finish a project that I started. I want to show you what I've done so far, which is, let me put this top on my E6000. Okay, this project really has been kind of a pain. So this was a metal plate that I bought at a consignment store, and you can see there's holes here and there's holes down here. It had some silver handles, decorative handles on it. So I had Rodney take the handles off for me because I had a whole plan in my mind of what I wanted to do. It also came with a wood circle piece that just fit down in here perfectly. So I guess it was like a small charcuterie board or just a cheese block or whatever. Anyway, I took the wood block off and I had decoupaged it with a napkin that had these purple flowers, dark purple flowers that kind of tapered with a little hint of yellow in the paper. And I loved it. And so my idea was to decoupage the wood piece with that. Whoever's on, hi, I can't see comments. Hey Joyce, I'm so glad you're here. Hope you're feeling good today. So I had decoupaged the napkin on the piece of wood that goes in here. Then I had divided all the way around the circle into 2 rows of checks, and I had done the Mackenzie Child look-alike silver checks, okay? Well, I didn't like it. So I went back over the checks, and where I had done silver and white, I painted in the white ones with yellow and then painted the silver ones with white so I wouldn't lose my lines and lose track of where I was going. Didn't like it. So I picked up the whole metal plate and painted over it again. Now I have used a piece of rice paper, that like decoupage paper. I think I got this from Ninny's Napkins. I believe it's ninnysnapkins.com. So I have trimmed all the way around with this paper and decoupaged it on. Oh, Joy, sweetie, I'll be praying for you and praying for good results. I love you, and I really will be keeping you in prayer. Please keep me posted. And you know, for anybody, you can always send me an email at craftandcruise@gmail.com. And the word "and" is spelled out, craftandcruise@gmail.com. I love praying for people. I find it to be my honor and my privilege. And so I'm going to be praying for you, Joyce, and anybody else that sees this. I hope you'll do the same thing. Joyce has been dealing with a lot of stuff. So here's my idea. I've got this rice paper that I also got from Ninny's Napkins that I absolutely love. So my plan is to put this rice paper on here, and I'm going to cut around it so it'll fit perfectly within here. And then I'm either going to do liquid gold on the edging or use some of the Robert Stanley bling and maybe just use 1 row or probably 1 row all the way around the edge. And then in her hat up here, she has a cameo. Well, I got a cameo that I want to glue on here for in her hat. And then my thought is to put this little red rhinestone down here where she actually has a black heart on her necklace. This is too hard to show you. But I thought about putting the red rhinestone right there in her necklace. And then I've got some gold chain. I may go back later and add a couple of strips of the gold chain like she has on her hat. And then I might use the stickles to go up and outline her cigarette holder. When I get back home, because currently I'm in, thank you Joyce, I'm in New Hampshire. Actually, I think our hotel's in Vermont. When I get back home, if I think it needs it, I've got some Formflex compound molds that I may put on here. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is to figure out exactly how I want this centered on my plate. And I don't know how easily y'all can see this. I'm in a hotel room, so I'm doing the best that I can. I know it's not ideal. But I think what I'm going to do is take my key card to my hotel room, and I'm going to go right up around the edge to kind of make an indentation in this paper, because I want to make sure that I don't cut it too short. And I really don't want to cut it too big either, because it'll be a bear to go back and try to trim this up. But I think if I do this first and make a little indentation, I can flip it over and go over that line with the pencil so that I can more easily see it. Now, seasoned crafters, of which I'm not, would find, I'm sure, a much easier way. I do have an X-Acto knife with me, but I used that on this outside paper the other day, and there was a couple places that I cut it slightly short, so I don't really want to use the X-Acto knife for that reason. But I think this key card to my hotel room has helped me get a real good line around here that now I can see. And I probably don't even, can y'all see? I probably don't even need to trace around it with the pencil. I think I'm just going to try to cut it out. Ooh, scary, because I'm doing it on the back side. So bear with me. This rice paper is so pretty. And I had to paint the plate, or the metal plate, white first. Anytime you're going to decoupage something on, particularly if it's a napkin, but really with most anything, you want to paint the background white first, because this paper is very thin. So whatever is behind it is going to show through it. Because this is so dark, I probably could have used even black paint, but I think if I had done that, I wouldn't have been able to see the image as well. I'm kind of having trouble seeing my line right now. I wouldn't have been able to see the image as well. So normally I just base coat everything with white, and I usually use the chalk paint that I get at in the craft section at Walmart. I forget who makes it, but and I've been using the color plaster, because I think the plaster does a really good job. It's not stark white, but it's kind of a creamy color. So that's the one I've been using. And I like a lot of bling. Some people don't. Eventually, I hope to sell some of these things. And so, yeah, I try to keep that in mind too, of what maybe other people would like. But you know, we all have different tastes. Neither one of my girls likes bling as much as I do. And to be honest with you, I didn't really start loving bling until I got older, like in my 60s. So, you know, not everybody likes it, but I do. So when you get on, please say hi. The only comment I see right now is Joyce's. And so let's see how well I cut this. Okay. Looks like I did a pretty good job. Pretty good job. I think that's so cool. So now what I'm going to do is take my, let me run grab it, my Mod Podge. Thought I had everything over there, but clearly I did not. Okay, I'm going to take Mod Podge. Most of y'all crafters know this. Hey, Gail Richards. Thanks for coming on. Most of y'all know this. This is what I'm fixing to Mod Podge on here, Gail. And then I'm going to deck her out. Thank you, Joyce. Save your hotel key cards if you go to hotels, because you can use them for lots of things. So we've learned, in the crafting world, that the less Mod Podge you can use, the better. You know, some things more is better, and some things more is not better. And apparently, Mod Podge more is not better, especially with napkins, because when you're using napkins, you're going to be taking all the extra plies off, so all you're going to have is the top layer that shows your design. So you've got to be really, really careful with napkins that you don't get too thick a layer, because you don't want to get a lot of wrinkles either. Some wrinkles don't bother me. To me, it's not a big deal. As Kathy D. Domenico says, we are perfectly imperfect, and I think our art is perfectly imperfect too. Thank you, Gail. All right, so I've got this rice paper cut out, decoupage cut out now, and I'm going to lay it on here and try to get it as straight as I can. And the good thing about rice paper too, I have found when decoupaging, and I do a lot of decoupaging, is that it doesn't wrinkle as bad. Now, napkins can be tricky. You kind of frequently have to use something on your hand, like a plastic, a baggie or something, to help you smooth out the wrinkles. Now, this is not sticking as well. Got too much that time. Let me put it right there on that paper. So I'm going to add a little bit more, because this rice paper is not keeping a hold as good. All right. But it laid down very, very flat. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another coat. This is Mod Podge gloss. I'm going to put another coat on top of this to seal it. And because it's rice paper, anywhere that I may have missed underneath getting my glue down well, this Mod Podge will, some of it will soak through, so that will help secure my paper. I really probably should be putting my Mod Podge on a plate and then rubbing my brush in it that way, but I'm in a hotel room and don't have a lot of extra amenities like plates. So, anywho, this is what we're going to use to hold this down. Now, remember I showed you that Robert Stanley bling earlier. I also think, whether we use it on the outside or not, I hope this dries clear. Doesn't say, but I'm sure it does. Okay, so let me show you this. I'm going to cut just a small strip, a single strip of this Robert Stanley bling ribbon, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows wide, and you get 15 feet of it. Lasts a long time, and you get it in the wedding section at Hobby Lobby. So it's not going to be where your regular ribbons are. It will be over in the wedding section. And somebody told me they have it in silver and black too, I think. I've never seen the Robert Stanley in the black. I've gotten the off-brand in the black, but not Robert Stanley. So, what my thinking was that I could put this around the inside to cover up, I know it's hard to see, to cover up that edge where my, hey Mickey, where my paper joined the plate. Oh, you are? What part of New York? So what do y'all think? Do y'all think this, a strip of this would look good on the inside? You do have the black. And is it Robert Stanley, Gail? I thought about using black on this. I actually have some black with me, but I don't have enough. And I thought it might make it more elegant if I use the gold. Let me see if I did 2 rows around the edge. Now, around the edge is not going to be quite as easy to do, but it can be done. And when I'm using this, I usually use, if it's something I really want to stay on there, I will usually use E6000 and hot glue, not in the same place, but next to each other, just to give it the quick hold and then the firm hold. Hey, Susie Craig. Okay, that might be, that's going to be too wide. 2 rows is going to be too wide around this edge, I think. So what I may do is just paint this edge with the liquid gold. Let's paint it with the liquid gold. I don't have very much. This is one problem I have, and y'all tell me if you've ever had this problem. I travel a lot and take a lot of my craft supplies with me. And every time I take a bottle of this liquid leaf, I'm not even sure there's enough in here. Every time I take a bottle of this on a plane, or really in the car, either one, it leaks. And I have a mess when I get wherever I'm going. You're in Rotterdam, which is 25 miles west of Albany. Cool. That's awesome. Let me see if I even have, I'm probably not have enough to do the whole thing, but we can at least see if we like it. God, it's so thick. All right, so when you're using liquid gold on a surface, a flat surface, you want to hold your brush flat so that you can, I don't know if y'all can see or not, but I'm going to try to hold it as flat as I can. This is really not a good brush to use, but I'm limited for the brushes I brought with me too. So, and I should have started at the top. Let me turn it around toward me for just a minute and look. And then I'll see what you guys think. Because I can always go over it with bling. Or I can paint over this gold with white and take it back to something else too. I do think a row of the gold bling on the inside where it joins the plate is a good idea. I'm trying not to get too out of lines on there. And I want to get up here close to her face so y'all can see what you think. This, and I'll tell you what, this antique gold liquid leaf is, it's strong odor-wise, very strong. I think I'm going to start using, I got some gold, just checked, isn't Robert Stanley, but from Hobby Lobby. Okay, thank you, Gail. I didn't think Robert Stanley made, I thought it was just gold that he made, but maybe not. What was I saying? Oh, I'm going to start using from Would You Bend. They have a product that is an antique or like a bright metallic gold that you mix. It comes in powder form, and then you mix it with the liquid that you get, and it is beautiful. And I think I'm going to start using it because it has no smell. Okay, here's what the gold looks like around the edge, the liquid leaf. So what do y'all think about that? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Would you use another color or another idea? Tell me. Give me some hints and ideas in the comments. I need all the help I can get. I'm new to all this crafting stuff online anyway. I'm not really new to crafting, but I'm new to, well, I kind of am. I started crafting during COVID. I was a watercolor artist, and thank you, Joyce. I was a watercolor artist, and then later became a mixed media, more acrylic than anything, and always said that I would not craft. Never say never. You think so, Gail? You think this liquid gold makes it pop? And then during the pandemic, I don't even remember how I got started watching crafters. I don't know if somebody suggested it. You like the gold leaf? Thank you, Susie. I don't know. I just think I was surfing on Facebook one day or something, and I believe, I used to say I think the first person I watched was Debbie Rigg with Studio MDAZ, but thinking back on it, I really think it was Barb at the Shabby Tree. And she was showing people how to make some crafts and use your creative ability with stuff that you would normally have around the house, so that people wouldn't have to get out and shop, because, you know, for so long we were confined, and that was a no-no to get out and shop. And so she had come up with some really creative ideas of things to do with just stuff you have around the house. So I started thinking, well, right now I quit doing watercolor because my watercolor teacher moved to Atlanta, and after she moved, just never found anybody that I really liked. And I had wanted to do watercolor all my life and kept hearing it's the hardest medium ever, just get ready. And I thought, how hard can it be with paint and water? You know, it can't be that hard. I'll show y'all in just a minute what it is looking like. So anyway, I started taking lessons. Yeah, they knew what they were talking about, but I love it. And so for years, that's what I did. I have lots of watercolor paintings. Then when my teacher moved to Atlanta, I'm almost through and then I'll show y'all. I don't know. The person that took her place where I was taking, at the studio where I was taking, I just wasn't crazy about her style. So I basically quit doing watercolor and started doing mixed media. I started with acrylic. Years and years and years ago, I had done told painting, if any of y'all remember told painting, and, you know, on wood. And so I had done that years ago, and of course that's with acrylic. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to mess around with acrylic. So I did, and started watching some acrylic artists, including acrylic pour, and fell in love with that, although I never really got good at it. It's a beautiful art, but it is very, very tricky. I posted on Check Savvy Sisterhood the other day a pour I had done. They're so pretty when they work. And some people don't like cells in their pours. I do. I like the big cells. So anyway, I started doing that, and then mixed media, using a lot of magazine pieces and other things to go on my pours, and just regular acrylic painting. And then during the pandemic, I just started watching, I think, Barb, and then that led to other people. I started watching Debbie Rigg, Studio MDAZ, started watching Kathy DiDomenico at Royal Funky Junk, started watching Chris Hunter, Creating with Chris Hunter, started watching Rekindle Blessings, Beth and Randy, and now I'm hooked. Now, because I still get to paint some, but I'm hooked. Okay, so here's what this looks like with the gold leaf. What do y'all think? Should I leave it the gold leaf, or should I even add something on top of that? I'm still going to do the gold bling around the center because I think that would look really, really good. Don't you? Now, let me show you. I'm going to attach with E6000 and glue the, this is This was off of a key. This is a cameo that was on a key at Hobby Lobby. Yeah, I think so too, Joyce. But I didn't want the whole key on here because I wanted to use this in her hair or on her hat, because if you look close, you can see that she already has a cameo on there. That doesn't stand out very much. So I cut this part off of the key, and now I'm going to use a little E6000, primarily in the middle, and then hot glue just in some places around the edge, because the hot glue will give it instant stick and the E6000 will give it permanent. All right, so let me place that on there. See what you guys think about that. Like that? And then do you see she has a black necklace that has a small, shiny gold, a black heart on it. Thank you, Gail. I'm going to change that and put a red stone on it, because I think I'm also, when I get back home, I don't have it with me, going to use some red stickles on her lips and make them a little brighter. So let's put the red stone. What I do is it? Here it is. All right, I'm going to put that right in the center of her necklace. I'll use just a little E6000. I want to get some of that B7000 that Debbie Rigg has been talking about, because she seems to really like it. Okay. I like that. Okay, let me straighten it up. What do y'all think about that? I think if I use the red stickles on her lips, that'll pick up the red in the red stone, and I think that'll be really, really pretty. Don't y'all? You like that? And then I have silver stickles, or kind of silver. It's really more diamond or glisten, they're called, to outline or to go over this cigarette holder that she has. Because I kind of think that needs to pop a little bit. What do y'all think? Or should I leave it like it is? Man, this liquid gold is clumpy and bad. Okay. What I'm going to do now, while I'm waiting on y'all to answer me about that, is I'm going to start putting on the gold around the inside. I'm thinking what I'll do first is cut a much longer piece so that I don't have to start and stop. So we are in New Hampshire / Vermont, because my husband has a job, and I have the great fortune of being able to travel a lot with him, which I love, being able to see our country. And before we left, he complained about a bite on his ankle that the shoes that he was wearing was rubbing, and he felt like he was getting a blister. And so I hadn't really paid any attention to it, to be quite honest, until we got here. And he was going to cut a hole around the edge of his shoe so that it wouldn't rub so badly. And I said, don't do that, because those were very expensive shoes. We can let our son have them or whatever. My husband's real funny about shoes, and he doesn't want something that's not going to be comfortable, because he's on his feet a lot. So anyway, he showed it to me last night, and his whole ankle was swelled, and in the meantime, it had gotten what he thought was a blister on it. Rodney grew up on the farm. And, you know, you don't run to the doctor in town every time you have a little something happen. You just tend to it. So he was convincing me to open the place on his leg. And I was like, on his ankle. And I was like, I don't think I can do it. Yes, you can. He said, yes, you can. So I did. And anyway, then he was walking away from me. And I said, wait, come back here. What's on the back of your leg? And I saw a bite back there, but then I saw something black. And I said, you have a tick on the back of your leg. And I mean to tell y'all, that tick must have been there for some time because he was embedded in his skin. I think his skin had even started growing over it. And by last night, his ankle was very swelled. We were putting Neosporin on it. So I said, you know, our daughter's a nurse, so we got in touch with our daughter, showed her a picture of it, and she said, well, I think if you just keep it clean, it's probably going to be okay, but if not, you might want to see a doctor. We're not even at home. You know, we live in Tennessee, and here we are in Vermont. So, but this morning, he was pretty uncomfortable during the night, and so this morning he decided that we needed to have it looked into. So we did. And the doctor thinks that they're definitely all tick bites. I'm just trimming off the edge here because when you cut this Robert Stanley ribbon, that's the only thing I don't like about it. It leaves this little, see that little fuzzy edge? I don't like that. But I'm not probably going to stay on here the whole time and let y'all watch me cut it off. So I'll cut part of this off and then glue it on so you can see what it's going to look like on the inside. So anyway, we went to an urgent care here, got there when they opened, and the doctor saw him, and he said, you know, definitely looks like tick bites. And he talked to him about Lyme's disease. He said that there are many doctors who don't believe in Lyme's disease or don't believe it's a thing. He does. Rodney really liked him as a doctor. But so he started him on doxycycline for 14 days. And we're hoping that that's going to take care of it. But we'll have to kind of watch it because it was very red around his ankle. And then he's got a couple on his leg. We tried to pull that one last night. We dug and dug and dug. I don't know how he stood it and couldn't get it out. Well, we think we got parts of it out. But now on that same leg, he's got just a teeny tiny bite we hadn't even noticed until last night. And above that, he's got a little knot. And so the doctor thinks that's just where infection has set in. So he's going to be fine. We know he is. But, you know, just one of those things. You leave home and everything happens. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to put just a little bit, let me put something down over here so I won't get it on the table. I'm going to put a little bit of E6000 in some places on this, but mostly I'm going to put hot glue so I can put this around the edge. But I feel like putting a little bit of E6000 a few places might just be sure that it adheres better. And really, this is all I can do until I get, well, no, there's one more thing I want to ask y'all about. Till I get home where my stickles are. I have some with me, but of course I don't have the red. But there is one more thing I wanted to ask your opinion about. I have some feathers. And I thought about putting some feathers around here. I shouldn't, E6000 is too much. I don't think I'm going to use E6000 on the rest of it. Too much, too much. And now I'm having to try to wipe it off of my plate. Okay, hold on. Thank you, Joyce. I appreciate it. He's going to be fine. just one of those things that at our age, we don't feel like we can just let stuff like that go too long if we don't know what it is. And especially if there's a possibility of Lyme's disease. I don't know if y'all know much about Lyme's disease. We have ticks in Tennessee because we have animals in Tennessee. And, you know, ticks get on animals. But there are not a lot of doctors in our area, apparently, that really believe that we have ticks that carry Lyme's disease, which to me is preposterous and almost laughable because, like, are you going to tell ticks with Lyme's disease? Now, y'all can't go into Tennessee. You got to stay somewhere else. No. But Lyme's disease is very, very dangerous, and it can be deadly. But if not deadly, it can wreak havoc on your body and cause some long-term side effects that are not good. I have a friend who went for years struggling medically, and doctors diagnosing all kinds of things and putting her on all kinds of medications, and nobody could get anything that was going to help her. I don't think the hot milk is going to hold. And she was doing research on her own, and so she told the doctors, I think I may have Lyme's disease. Of course, the one she told poo-pooed it. No, you don't have Lyme's disease. Our ticks don't carry Lyme's disease, blah, 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 blah. Thank you, Gail. Yes, you are fortunate. And so my friend ended up finding one doctor in our town, and I live right outside Nashville, but found one doctor anywhere in the Nashville area that would listen to her theory that maybe she had Lyme's disease. By then, she had so many other medical problems, including heart issues. And the long and short of it is, when you're tested for Lyme's disease, usually they're only testing for 2 or 3 titers, they call them. But there is a very complete test that tests for way more titers than that you have to order the test kit, and then it has to be sent to, once the blood is drawn, it has to be sent to a special lab in California. Now, that may have changed since my friend Lisa was diagnosed. I don't know. But anyway, she had the test. She found a doctor here who would draw the blood for her. And she had it sent off to California. And when she got the report back, which was several pages long, it showed that she did indeed have Lyme's disease. And in the long run, what they have discovered is that many, if not most, of her medical conditions that she has now are a result of her having had Lyme's disease. But nobody wanted to acknowledge the possibility of Lyme's disease before. Nobody wanted to think, oh no, that just, surely not in Nashville or in Tennessee. Surely our ticks don't have Lyme's, which again sounds so ridiculous to me. But she did. And she's got permanent heart damage. I think the doctors told her, they would never be able to fully reverse that. I haven't talked to her in a while to see how she's doing otherwise, but she's a big proponent of doing whatever it takes to have whatever tests need to be run and not settle for just the quote-unquote normal tests that they would do for Lyme's disease, because if you do that, you're probably you may not get the answer that you have it, and you may not have it, but if you do, that test the normal test they do may not show it. So if you ever hear about anybody that has some of the classic symptoms of Lyme's disease, a bullseye kind of rash, fever, chills, overall fatigue, tell them. that if nothing else works out, they might ought to have that checked out because it has done a number on her body. Okay, that's not perfectly rounded here, but I can go back and fix that because it's just hot glue that I did it with. But that gives it a little bit of bling. And so what I was thinking was, I do have here a chain, a little gold chain that I thought about cutting into pieces because this is 2 little loops of gold chain. So I thought about cutting gold chain and putting on there, but then the other idea I had was, what about adding some feathers? Don't know where I was looking at them initially was on part of the paper that we ended up cutting off. So I don't really know now if a feather is really something she needs, but I pulled some out just because initially I thought a feather might be fun. Like if I cut, the stem off of that, like maybe a little feather coming out of her hat. I mean her, attached to her hat, like that. That kind of just gives it a little more pizzazz. What do you think? Do you like that feather? Hey, Mary Wyatt. Do y'all like that? Hey, Anne Marie. I don't know. I'm kind of liking that. Oh, the cameo just came right down. You know what? Let me cut this end off, and before I hot glue it back on, I'm gonna put this little feather up there and see what that, I just kind of think that's cute, y'all. Yes, I said y'all because I'm from the South. Okay, let's see if I can get some more hot glue to make it stick. These hot glue sticks I have in here are the Sure Bonder. And I like them, but they don't do as well in my glue gun. I'm not sure why. All right, let's stick this down there and then I'll hold it up. Yes on the feather, no on the feather. Hey, Shelly, how are you, sister? Yes or no on the feather? I'm gonna go back when I get home. I'm gonna use red stickles on her lips. Probably gonna use, I think I'll use the mercury glass stickles on this part. In fact, I could go on and do that while y'all are on here. Are my stickles in my container? Let me grab them. If y'all don't use stickles, you should, because they are amazing. And it sure does save on having to use glitter and getting glitter all over everything. I think I'll use this. This is mercury glass, is it? Yeah. This is mercury glass. They're made by Ranger. I get mine on Amazon. You do like it, Shelly? You like it, Joyce? Okay. So I'm going to take these stickles, and I'm going to do the mercury glass on the shadow part of her cigarette holder. So let me do that real quick, and then I'll go back with the, glisten or the diamond and do the top part just to make it stand out. You know, we crafters learn that you kind of have to let whatever you're working on speak to you as you're doing it, because the best laid plans of mice and men don't always work out, or they don't turn out like you think they're going to turn out, and then you got a plan B. Such was the case with this whole entire plate. It is nothing like I started it out. Okay, so here's the mercury glass on the dark part. Can Can you see it? Kind of sparkling a little bit. Now let me get, okay. I'm gonna use this on the top of the little cigarette holder. Just go right along the edge of the mercury glass, trying to keep a steady hand, which isn't always easy. Shelly, did you buy a apron from Debbie Rigg in the Check Savvy Sisterhood? If so, have you decorated it for the contest? I think I'm almost through with mine. Couple more little things I want to do on it, but I think I'm almost through. I haven't even seen the contest details yet. Now the stickles will be brighter once they dry. Micheline, hey girl, how are you? Good, thank you for going back and watching the replay, but you're still on live. Okay, so I did the outline in the mercury glass underneath, and then the diamond on top. So my plan is to add some gold chain right here. Do y'all think it needs anything else? I'm wondering if it needs, and I could put the handles back on it that were, there was a handle here that was real decorative metal, and then one down here, and I took them off. I could put them back on, or do y'all think it needs something else around the edge? Do you still think the table full of fake? Oh, gotcha. Do you still think just the liquid gold on the edge, on the perimeter, or should I use should I use a row of the Robert Stanley like right there? Or is there something else that I should add like here? Thank you, Micheline. I wish I was on the treadmill. I'm not that motivated. I should be. I am motivated to drink my Dunkin' though. I don't know. I feel like it's missing something. I don't want to put words because I think it's more, has more of an elegant feel, I think. But the embellishment that looks like grapes, are you talking about right here, is a feather. Can you see it? I just added a feather to her hat. You like the gold by itself, Shelly? Do you think it needs anything else up here, up and around here? I know the gold chain will add some to it. I don't know what this white stuff is about. I don't like that green feather coming out of there. So her lips will be redder, that's for sure. I just stuck my finger right in the stickles, you guys. Fortunately, I can take my little room key card. Just wipe that right off. And then I can go back and add more. Okay. Here's my question. Between this gold edge and the paper, does it need something around there? Something darker, more small feathers. I don't have small ones out right now. I've got some with me, but no, that's too big. I don't like that. I've got some bling at home. I could put 3 or 4 pieces of bling. The red lipstick should be enough, you think so? So you don't think on the inside of this rim I need anything? Okay, do you think I should put the handles back on and paint them gold, or should I leave them off? I could put a hanger on the back of this too, so it could be hung on the wall if somebody wanted it to. You don't think so, Gail? You don't think it needs anything else except the red lips to match the red necklace? Okay. Whatever y'all think. I may sit here and play around with it a little bit more just to make sure. Yeah, I will like it better when I do the lips. Her lipstick is not dark, but if you look really close, her lipstick is red. It's just a muted red, but with the stickles, that'll really pop. I don't know. I think the gold chain will help too up in her hat. To have a couple of rows of the gold chain, that'll give it a more dimensional look too. Yeah, I know, and I don't have the handles with me. They're very decorative and heavy metal. So, yeah, I love this image. They make plate hanger, right, that you can get to hang that on the wall. That's true. That's very true. So that would be cool. So you can see where the handles went on the back. There's a hole here and a hole here. So, right at the top where she is. And then there was some more down here. So, I think for now, I'm just going to leave it. And when I get home, I'll do the red stickles on her lips. And then after I get off here, I'm going to cut the chain and go on and put a couple little pieces of chain in her hair. Or on her hat. And, I possibly could, my husband probably could, Mickey, put the handles on the other opposite sides. Probably could. Because you can't tell from the front that it even had handles. So, yeah, he could probably make that happen. You know, we call him MacGyver because he can do anything. Seriously. Thank you, Shelly. I just thought this paper was fabulous. But if you could see how this started out, it wasn't anything like this, and it just was one of those that I felt like it's not speaking to me. I just can't get it together. So then the other thing I'm going to work on this afternoon, and I may come back on live again, let me grab it again, is a tissue holder that I told y'all about before. I get these a lot at Goodwill. You can see it's been base coated, but it's been thrown around so much it's scratched up. So I may have to put another coat of white paint. But I'm thinking about using this napkin to decoupage on it. Isn't that so pretty? Decoupage around all sides, and then I'll do some kind of trim and bling on it. Micheline, the paper is, I'm pretty sure, is from Ninny's Napkins. Ninnys napkins.com. Yeah, that is a pretty napkin. I love that blue and white toile look on anything. So, I will post a picture later, you guys, of what I end up doing, if I do anything else. I may not post a picture of it actually until I get home, which should be tomorrow night. Hi, Kim. Hope you'll go back and watch the replay. We're supposed to fly home and get home late tomorrow night, so it may be Saturday morning before I post a picture. Thank you, Micheline. No space between the dot and the com, though. I'll post a picture if I do anything else on it. I'm going to add the chain. So here's what we did today, Kim. Took an old metal plate, painted it white. It didn't start out, my first craft project with this didn't start out looking like this at all. Totally changed it midstream. This is a decoupage paper that I got. This is a decoupage paper on rice paper that I got. So I decoupaged those on and did the perimeter around the outside with liquid leaf gold. Then I put Robert Stanley bling that you get from Hobby Lobby in the wedding section, and it comes wide like this, so you can, you know, use it wide or cut strips. It's $9.99, but I wait until ribbon is 40% off, and you get 15 feet of it. So I love this. I use it on a lot of things. And then she already had a cameo in the paper on her hat, but this was a cameo with a key hanging off of it that my husband got from Hobby Lobby for me, and I cut the key part off. And then she had a black shiny heart necklace. I changed it to a red jewel. I'm going to add some red stickle lipstick to her on her lips to make them brighter. I'm going to add 2 pieces of gold chain here. May or may not go back and add the handles that were originally on it. If so, then I'll probably put them on the sides instead of the top and bottom. Thank you, Kim. And then I'm going to today start decoupaging this with this napkin, I think. I brought some other napkins too. I'll show y'all and see if there's something you like better. Although I think most of these are Christmas and fall, and I don't know that I want it just limited to that. This is a Mackenzie Childs napkin that I love. Let me open it and show you. That's so pretty. I can't wait to use some of these for Christmas things. But that would, I mean, I could just use it at Christmas, I guess. Of course, us crafters are all familiar with the Mackenzie Childs frog. But, and I could put the frog around 2 opposite sides and then put the bee on the other side. Then I have this snowman Mackenzie Childs. I have the nutcrackers. I may end up doing something for Christmas instead of the twirl. I don't know. Then I have the blue and white Courtly check. I have the deer on one side and the lady and the deer on the other side. What is the little character that Mackenzie Childs has? Does somebody know the name? I forget who she is. This might look pretty on here. Maybe I'll just use 4 different napkins, Mackenzie Childs, on each 4 sides. Who knows? Then I have this Santa, Mackenzie Childs. I have this Mackenzie Childs that looks like this on the back. This is not Mackenzie Childs, but I love this, especially in the spring. And I have this one for Christmas. Let me open this one up. This one's so pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? Something that you can use a tissue holder every day. Yeah. But you know what? You can get these tissue holders at Goodwill constantly. And I have one that I did a Mackenzie Childs napkins in our RV. So I did think about doing another, doing one for each season to keep in the RV. I think most of these, this is what I used on my glue caddy. Let me show you. I did the top in the napkin, and then this side over here has the other part of this napkin. That's what I did my glue caddy in. Thought about using that on the tissue holder. I have these, which would also be a beautiful tissue holder. I have this one, which is different. than this one. Similar, but different. So I could just do a floral. I also have this one. And this one. And I have this one. And I just ordered a bunch more. So, yeah, the flowers, I could do a different flower one around each side, and then that could be used anytime. Hopefully, eventually, I'm going to try to do a auction and sell some things, but first I have to get, or I need to get a Shopify store set up for people to pay. So, until I can get that done, I know, Gail, I don't think I will, I'll do a sale until I can get that set up. Maybe what I'll do is all four sides do a different floral. And then what I could do is use like silk flowers to fill in some places. That might be pretty. What do you think? Maybe that's a better idea. I do have, listen, Shelly, I have a notebook at home that's the widest style 3-ring binder you can get. What is that, 3 inches or something? I mean, it's like this wide. And I have clear inserts in there, and I have them filled with napkins. Then I have a big box in my studio that's filled with my extra napkins. And then I just order some more. So, yes, I decoupage a lot with napkins, and I love it. So anyway, thank you all for jumping on. I'll show you one more time what we did today. And I've got a little more to do on it when I get home from this trip. Thank you for your prayers for Rodney. I think he's going to do fine now that he's on the antibiotic. Please keep praying for Joyce Knight, sweet Joyce, who is dealing with a lot and is going to be having a CAT scan today, I think. And then pray for Barbara Polston, who's also a friend of the page, who has horrible migraines and is trying Botox therapy for it. I can certainly relate to that because I have migraines not as often as she does. I just have basically a bad neck. I have degenerative disc disease in my neck. I have bulging disc in my neck. I have spurs on my spine, and I have arthritis. So basically, I have a headache every day because, number one, I sit like this a lot. Poor posture. My mother got onto me a lot about it when I was a child. Straighten up, walk straight. And so, yeah, I understand having a headache, but I don't have a migraine that often. And my heart goes out to anybody that does because they are debilitating. They're horrible. So anyway, pray for Barbara. Pray for our country. Lord knows we need it. We need to become a God-fearing, God-chasing society and not a godless society like I feel like we are right now, just my opinion. Rodney Shelley, we think he got a tick bite on his ankle like maybe a week or two ago, actually 2. And because they were just itching. And then a couple of days ago, thank you, Micheline, a couple of days ago, a big blister came up on it, and he thought it was from the shoes he was wearing. And so we got him some different shoes to wear. Fortunately, he brought his flip-flops with him on this trip. Last night, his whole ankle was swelled up. Then he got ready to walk away from me, and I saw 2 more bites on his leg, and one of them looked like it was black, and I think it was where a tick had embedded itself. And so his ankle swelled. It was very red around his ankle. I had him prop it up, leave it elevated while he slept last night. And then on the other leg, he has 2 more. No, the other leg is where the other 2 were, that one of them, the tick was embedded. But on the leg with the ankle problem, there's a little bump that I don't even think he knew very much about. being there, but it's got a lump about the size of a $50 above it. So we felt like, even though we were out of town, it was best to go on and have it checked this morning before he went to work, and we did. And the doctor agrees that probably all of them were from ticks. He said he rarely sees a person with that many tick bites, but he feels like that's probably what it is, and so he's treating him with doxycycline for 14 days. And, you know, they talked about Lyme's. I don't think the doctor's concerned about Lyme's, but he did acknowledge it. He said that many, many doctors do not acknowledge Lyme's disease as even being a thing, which I know firsthand is true, because I was tested for it years ago at home too, and it was like pulling teeth to get anybody to test me for it. You know, he did say, because you've got so many ticks, or had so many ticks, and because you're, you know, having a reaction to it, you need to keep a close eye on it. So we're not worried about it. We know God's got him, and now that he's on antibiotic, that's probably the first thing they would do. Even if they thought it was Lyme's disease for sure, they'd put him on doxycycline. So he's gonna be fine. He's working. He's fine. He's just gonna, you know, baby his ankle some until it has time to heal, so nothing's rubbing on it, and so he'll be fine. But thank you for keeping him in your prayers, and pray for us as we travel home tomorrow. We don't get home till late tomorrow night, but pray for traveling mercies. Most of y'all read what I posted about getting here. Was a nightmare. We didn't even get to the hotel that we stayed in the first night till like 1:30 in the morning, so it was great. Love Southwest Airlines. Will always fly Southwest if I get the opportunity. I will not fly any other airline but Southwest if I can. But getting here on Southwest was a joke this time. So, anywho, I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to finish working on my apron, and then if I decide later to work on the tissue box, yes, to get straight home would be a blessing. We already know we have 1 or 2 stops anyway, since we scheduled it so last minute. If I do the tissue box later, which I might, then I will try to get back online and let y'all see at least me starting the process. It's nothing that any of y'all haven't done, so I'm not going to be teaching you anything, but I love just being on here and seeing who's awake and not doing anything in particular and will take the time to come on and watch me. So I hope you'll hit the follow button at the top if you haven't already, and I hope you'll share the love of this page on your page, so maybe others will come join us. Bye, Shelly. I love you too, and I hope y'all have a great day. Go out and bless somebody and be blessed. Bye.